A tasty slice of soulful disco pop that'll have you shimmying on the dance floor. You're watching Encore, and that's what's coming up on this week's music show. Parcels hail from Byron Bay, Australia, and are making waves with their glossy, funky electro grooves, evoking the sounds of Chic, the Bee Gees and Daft Punk all rolled into one. The five-piece are currently on tour in Europe with a string of sold-out gigs here in France. Noah and Jules from Parcels, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Now, you've based yourselves in Berlin for the last couple of years because Australia is so isolated geographically and somewhat musically. What were some of the most difficult things to get used to when you moved to Germany?
I think it was actually kind of easy in some way, but definitely the weather is the big one that we still haven't quite got over.
A European winter is definitely very difficult for any Australian.
Hugely traumatising.
Hugely
and the lack of ocean, I suppose.
Yeah, no exercise. That was our only exercise in Australia, and now we just play music and getting skinnier and skinnier.
Now, Australia and Western Europe have very different music scenes. How is the German capital influencing your music making these days?
I mean, yeah, we go to see the dance music that's super prominent in Berlin, but we're still kind of taking influences from outside of Germany mostly and from all over Europe. Berlin's just more of like a perfect place to live in terms of Europe for us.
Why is it the perfect place to live?
It's so central, it's super cheap, it's a really fun place to live. It's got really like nice multicultural essence about it, which makes it enjoyable to be there.
Okay, well, let's take a listen to your latest single, Overnight, which was co-written and co-produced by Daft Punk.
Go back, hold back. It's all I've said, and overnight. The minute I was thinking to hold you back, the moment I was wishing it's overnight. The minute I was thinking to hold you back, the moment I was wishing it's overnight.
Now, the song sounds like a perfect meeting between the Parcels and Daft Punk sounds, an obvious partnership and very, very natural. Did it come about naturally in the studio?
Yeah, in a way. It was very relaxing and natural for us to collaborate.
How so?
Well, I don't know. We both have the same sort of taste in music. And I don't know, I think it was more on their side. They were very, just no ego, nothing, just let's make a good song together. And that was the vibe from the start, so.
Yeah, it was much smoother than you would expect from
a robot or two.
From a robot. Exactly.
From a robot.
Or two, yes.
Now, speaking of robots, Daft Punk, we all know, are very, very mysterious. What's something about the duo that you were surprised to find out? That they were real people under those robot masks? I don't know.
Just very human. I don't know.
Human after all.
Okay, now your sound has been compared to early Chic, led by the legendary Nile Rodgers, of course. He's been known to collaborate with David Bowie, Diana Ross, Madonna, Duran Duran. There are so many out there. Could Mr. Rodgers be next on the collaboration wish list?
No.
No!
No.
No, I play guitar. He'll take my spot.
Yeah, you don't want anyone sort of stealing your thunder.
Stepping on
Exactly.
Jules' toes. I don't know. No, we're like always open to collaborate with everybody, but
Yeah.
see. That's a big call.
That's a big call. I don't
Well,
know.
Daft Punk was, is a huge name. So, I mean, anything's
guess.
possible, really, guys. Come on.
It's true.
It is.
It's
Sky's
true.
the limit.
Exactly. Is there anyone you're sort of wanting to collaborate with at the moment? Anyone sort of on the top of the list?
Well, to be honest, we're just trying to get used to collaborating with ourselves.
Yeah,
we're right at the start here, so I think we're focusing on our own music and just working together.
Okay. Now, in Australia, we're surrounded by rock, indie and country, but especially rock music. It's really part of our musical DNA. So how did you fall in love with the retro 70s sound that we hear in your music?
I don't really know how that happened. It was a weird kind of experience of I think it came down to festivals that we were going to in Australia. And I don't know. I really don't know why you pick up some things and leave others, but it just felt natural, and that's what we enjoyed doing.
Now, the 70s extend to your look as well. There's a strong nod to the 70s when it comes to your image. What do you love about that era?
Well, I mean, it just makes sense to us because we've come from Byron Bay. It's just normal, you know? My parents are still living in the 70s in some sort of way.
Would you care to expand?
Oh, well, I don't know. They surf every day, and it's
pretty not tech savvy at all, you know.
They're not on the Twitter, not on the Facebook.
No, they're
okay,
letting
none
that
of
all
that.
go fly straight past them.
Yeah, my mum still doesn't have internet at home, so there's a good example.
Okay, that is a great example.
That one amazes me.
You guys are from Byron Bay, as I said, one of my favourite places in the world, such a beautiful part of the world. What do you miss about home?
Surfing. The lifestyle.
Yes, there's not much surfing being done in Berlin.
Yeah, good veggies, good produce.
Good produce.
Yeah.
Good meat.
Good everything.
Good coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that's enough.
All right, I'm booking my flight right now to go back.
No, we'll make sure you guys get a good cup of coffee here in Paris. Let's take a quick spin through the week's music news now. It's been a 6-year wait, but Franco-British actress and singer-songwriter Charlotte Gainsbourg is releasing her 5th album, Rest, featuring tracks in both French and English. It's a heartfelt statement about loss, grief and fear, partly inspired by the 2013 death of her older sister, photographer Kate Barry. The 46-year-old wrote most of the album's lyrics herself, something she said she previously avoided due to the pressure of living in the shadow of her famous late father, Serge Gainsbourg. Let's take a look at the single Deadly Valentine. Now, you're signed to the French label Kitsune. Has being in Europe exposed you to some cool French music that you might not have had the chance to discover in Australia?
Definitely, yeah. After moving here and spending some time in France, we found this whole French touch scene, you know? Like, I heard of Daft Punk, but that's about it. And then I discovered, all the others. Oh, also Air. Really like Air. But yeah, there's heaps of good French music.
Okay. Next, hers was one of the greatest R&B voices to grace the airwaves, but we certainly haven't heard the last of powerhouse soul diva Sharon Jones, who passed away from cancer last year at the age of 60. A posthumous release with her band, the Dap-Kings, titled Soul of a Woman, is the group's final recording together. Rich orchestral ballads sit next to more upbeat funk and blues, but whatever the style, Jones's voice is electric and heart-wrenching all at once. It's never been clearer on the latest track, Call on God. Morrissey is back with new music that's louder and angrier than ever before. That's how the legendary former frontman of The Smiths has described his 11th solo album, Low in High School. We'll leave you with a clip of his latest single, Spent the Day in Bed. Once again, thanks to our guest, Parcels, Jules and Noah. Remember, their EP, Hideout, is available now and they're currently on tour throughout Europe. Next month, the boys will be heading to Japan before ringing in the new year down under with several dates across Australia. Catch up with past music shows on our website and stay in touch on social media. Keep it right here on France 24.
I spent the day in bed. I'm not my type, but I love my bed. And I recommend that you stop watching the news, because the news contrives to frighten you, to make you feel small and alone, to make you feel that your mind